Jalen, this team has won 20 of its last 21. Furious comeback a week ago. You hold off a comeback this week in the second half. What does this team understand about how to win?
There's a certain level of grit that you have to play in this league, and the more grit that you have, usually the better you are. And I think as a team, we showed that today. Our defense played lights out, and we don't win that game if our defense doesn't show up the way they do. So we'll watch the film and look at things, learn from everything, and continue to build. But it was a great start to the game. I say a really all hands on deck for this win. We want to compliment each other in those important moments, in those high situation moments. But we found a way to win. That's all that you can ask for.
We don't always give enough love to special teams, Jalen. They were huge last week. How did they contribute this week?
Like I said, it's all three phases, and I give credit to Coach Clay and how he leads those guys, and then the special players that we have over there. Cam Latu, Sid, JD even being a starter and still playing special teams, being able to draw some attention there. JC, same with him. So complete team effort.
Finally, a message about how this group handled the Heat this time.
Oh man, y'all are talking about the Heat. We're talking about finding ways to win the game, and that's what it's about. You know, when you come into any game, I'd be lying if I say this game wasn't circle. You know, but every game is circle, and they all have their own reasons of why. And so, it's just about finding ways. We showed great grit, had a good competitive spirit about ourselves. When one was down, the other played up, and that's all you can ask for. So we'll learn from it all, get ready for this next game.
You continue to find the ways. Always appreciate you, Jalen.
Thank you.
Let me talk my shit again.
Yes, sir. What it do? This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your humbly hostile host, Cassius Cliff. We're here wrapping up the Week 4 matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that was played in Tampa. And obviously, like Jalen Hurts, I had that game circled on my calendar. I definitely wanted to get this victory, probably more than any of the first 4 weeks, aside from possibly Dallas, because can't stand Dallas at all. But I know a lot of y'all feel this way, and I'm just going to say it. The way that the game started, the way that the game went into the half, it's almost as if you go to a 5-star restaurant, the host greets you beautifully, the server is so attentive, they sit you down in the most beautiful spot in the restaurant. Appetizers are phenomenal, the most crisp water. The entree is out of this world. They bring the dessert, and it's mid. It's not up to par. It doesn't match up with everything else I had up to this point. That's how this game felt. That's how it played out to me. Because for the way that the game started, the way that it went to the half, and the way that it ended, it doesn't match up. It doesn't align at all. And that, to me, speaks to several things. And we're going to get into that because, yes, I understand how people feel, but we need to not lose sight of what's most important here. Going 19 out of 20 games with a victory is no small feat. Not a lot of quarterbacks do it. Not a lot of head coaches do it. And it's probably not been done in a long time in NFL history, if I ever. For Jalen Hurts to go an entire calendar year without a loss in games in which he has started and finished is a huge accomplishment. And I know a lot of people love stats, but stats are for losers. A wise man once said, stats are for losers. The scoreboard is for winners. And at the end, you just want to come out with a win. I know a guy like Peter Schrager, a lot of people that think like him thought that we was going to go into Tampa and take an L. Lo and behold, he forgot who he was talking about on the other side of the ball. And none of that was possible without good coaching on the special teams, first and foremost. I think I would be remiss if I didn't tip my hat off and give flowers to a guy like Michael Clay, because for us to start off a game with a block punt that resulted in a touchdown, first I have back-to-back touchdowns on block special teams to end last week's game against the Rams, and to start off this game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is huge. Not only for our special teams and how teams may already be getting in their heads when it comes to lining up against us, but the overall morale of the team and going into a game in which a lot of people didn't have us pencils winning this game. And for us to start out stopping them after 5 plays, forcing them to punt, and the punt resulting in a touchdown for us that was on a block punt. Michael Clay, shout out to you, salute, because these guys clearly are locked in, they're executing, And that's not possible without good coaching by you, clearly. And the good coaching did not stop there in the first half, much to a lot of people's surprise. It did not take for us to be down by 19 for the head coaching on the offense, well, rather the coaching on the offensive side of the ball and Kevin Patullo to be locked in and really to be diverse in his play calling. You're talking about different formations. Obviously nothing there, but Jalen Hurts doing what he does best, making something out of nothing, picking up a big first down, putting us right there in scoring range. But there's 3 plays that really wowed and shocked me. Because obviously you see John Mechie getting the catch was different, but 2 shuffle passes that resulted in touchdowns in the red zone for Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert having 4 catches for 37 yards and 2 touchdowns. But him saying out of his own mouth that these plays, when it comes to these shuffle passes to him, have been in the playbook for 4 years, and we're just now seeing it. That to me rubbed me a little wrong. But this play right here was to me a huge revelation, because ironically enough, I was saying it while we were lined up for the twitch push, run the fake. I mean, I say it every game because I see how much people are so they're overcommitted to stopping that play, and how it leaves so many things open, be it a toss to Saquon Barkley, or even if you have someone leak like a Dallas Goedert or even an A.J. Brown leak out and they're wide open. It's just too easy when it comes to that play because they're so overcommitted to stopping us to get that 1 yard. Why not run some different things out of that formation? And we finally saw it in this game. So that was huge for Kevin Patullo and really what he was doing in the first half. And you know what? There was a lesson learned in this first half, because I almost jumped the gun and I almost congratulated him on Twitter. And I'm glad I didn't, because this play right here, it may look like a great play call, but when it comes to this offense not being diverse, I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You can manufacture touches to your skill players, to your skill position players, like an A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, whoever you want to do. But this play right here that was called for Saquon Barkley, it might have been a good play call, but the blocking was not up to par. He made something out of nothing. This call right here in particular was asinine, because not only is A.J. Brown, obviously, this is a great receiver, top 3 in the entirety of the NFL. But what he does best is not being shifty, elusive, and screenplays. That's not what he does best. Aside from that, if Kevin Patullo read the scouting report, he would know. The Bucs are one of the best, if not the best, when it comes to stopping screenplays. Why would you run that with your least shifty receiver? Is stupid. It is dumb. I don't get it. But that's what we're doing here. We're clearly making things more difficult than necessary, because when it came to this half of the game where the offense was humming, toward the end of the half, that's when he started taking his foot off the gas. And it was clear, because we saw what we did in the second half. We went into a 24-6. We ended up the game with 31 points. Now, I have my own theories, aside from Kevin Patullo being inadequate at his job. I firmly believe this hit on Jalen Hurts had a huge component in him virtually not doing anything in the rest of the game. If you remember correctly on this particular play, he got hit in the shoulder. They threw a flag. He hit his head on the grass. They picked up the flag because the home cooking was on high in this game when it came to the home cooking. But he did hit his head on the grass, and he was slow to get up. And there was a huge difference between what he was doing before this hit and after this hit. Before this hit, 15 and 19, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 carries for 54 yards. After he took this hit, 0 of 5, 0 passing yards, 3 rushes for 8 yards. So speculate whichever way you want to. I think this was a component of why Jalen just wasn't as effective in the second half. And ultimately, when you got a play call like Kevin Patullo, you're already up against it from out the gate. But him taking that hit, I think absolutely had a huge impact in the offense just being bland in the second half. But for us to hold on to the lead in which that we had, because we're absolutely dominating them in the first half, that would be impossible without the defense. And I know it doesn't look like here on this play in particular, but when you got guys in rotation like a Moro Ojomo making plays when he's in nibbling snaps, a tackle for loss, and a sack right there on that earlier play, or even a young rookie like Ty Robinson, who I've been waiting to see in rotation and making his presence felt, Yes, he did not get a sack on this play, but for him to at least give that guard some issues and making Baker make a decision, forcing an incompletion that Reed Blankenship was on, you got to tip your hat off to that. Zach Bond. I mean, Zach Bond being the stud that he is, forcing a fumble on a sack on Baker Mayfield, obviously leading to what the back end was doing. Because the back end, when it comes to our cornerbacks, because our safeties did not have great days by any imagination. But our cornerbacks were absolutely locked in, and that's from either side, including our nickel cornerback. We got to start with our stud, Quinyon Mitchell. I mean, this guy's been on an absolute tear week in and week out. Even here, Keely Ringo having a pass breakup on a pivotal play by Keely Ringo. I mean, he wasn't tested as much in this game. 3 targets, 1 catch allowed for 8 yards. But our other stud, a guy that people tend to forget in Cooper DeJean. I thought this was an interception right here, but clearly still a good play by him. And he was all over the field. I mean, when it comes to Quinyon Mitchell and what he did, you're talking about a guy that allowed 2 catches for 6 yards. Cooper DeJean allowing, 2 catches? He had 2 pass breakups his damn self. Like, when it comes to our cornerbacks, these guys are clearly on a different level. And a great tackle here by Cooper DeJean that was, I mean, the taunting call, that shit is absolute. It's a joke. I don't know why they've added this into the rule book. To me, they're just trying to help manufacture points for the offense because it seems it's really at the discretion of the ref. Whatever they deem as taunting is going to be automatic first down at 15 yards. And this right here was harmless. I think what we're witnessing right now is the emergence of something we've never seen before. Having 2 studs at linebacker, we know we got in Zach Bond, but Jihad Campbell is absolutely that. Another forced fumble, his second of the season. A huge forced fumble right here on Bucky Irving. I mean, this guy's been always around the ball, much like Zach Bond right here on this tackle for loss. But these guys playing in tandem, being able to play multiple spots on the field, be it coverage, in the flat, going after the quarterback. I mean, you have a savvy vet, you have a young, hungry rookie, and the biggest play of the game. Baker Mayfield trying to make something out of nothing with the help of Reed Blankenship, interception, and that's essentially ball game. This rookie has the IQ of a vet and, I mean, the youngest legs and really the legs of a rookie. The guy is always around the ball making plays. Of course, fumble and an interception in the 4th game as a pro, playing linebacker. I don't think I would have ever saw that day as a Philly fan for my team. And I don't know, we're spoiled. That's clear, we're spoiled. And between our 2 linebackers, 12 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, a sack, a tackle for loss, and an interception. What a time to be an Eagles fan. And I said it before and I'll say it again. It's tough to say what the issues are really when it comes to this offense, aside from the play calling, the poor blocking, the bad pass concepts, the bad route combinations. I guess there's a lot to say when it comes to the offense. But to be real, when it came to this game in particular, it's tough to say what went awry, what happened. But I do know, aside from my speculation when it came to Hurts and that possible concussion or him being dazed, when it comes to Jalen Hurts and what he needs to do when it comes to playing against and seeing the quarterback on the other side of the field, he knows always, I got to protect the ball, I got to help my team win, and I got to outplay that dude over there. Because me outplaying that dude over there helps me ensure those other 2 things will happen. I will protect the ball. I will help my team win, and ultimately, that's what he does. Jalen Hurts is not the most flashy. He's not the most talkative when it comes to being, with these press conferences in front of the camera. He's probably not even the most rah-rah guy in the huddle on the sideline. But when it comes down to it, and what we root for at the end, it's about winning games from people like me, for fans like myself. I know what I would like. I know what I would want in my heart of hearts. I want all my players to play great. I want all my players to score touchdowns, get interceptions, get sacks. All those things are great and phenomenal. I get it. I'm with you. But if what my team is doing is helping us get victories every weekend, 19 out of our last 20, including the Super Bowl, I don't really have much to really complain about. I know what I would like. I know I can talk about, but I know what I want in the end. Contrary to belief, That's what we do in Philly. Winning is all that matters. With that being said, this is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your humbly hostile host, Cassius Cliff. We out to the next one. Peace.